Is there any worse feeling in the world than jealousy? Seriously, jealousy sucks. Not only does it make you feel sad and insecure, but it also makes you feel nauseous. And since emotions just are, and they're an absolute that needs to be honored, the other side asked me to create this video explaining how to better manage your jealousy. Number one, look closer. We are all supermodels walking around with past hurts. Everyone is fighting their own battle. Everyone needs healing in some way, shape, or form. So take a more empathetic view towards not only your romantic partner, but people in general. Like I said, we're all supermodels, and I do readings for people where I do pre-tunes on their photo before I even get on the phone with them. And when I get on the phone, I'll say, "How are you?" They'll say, "I'm excellent," in a very cheerful way. And I'll say, "Well, that's kind of weird because when I tune into your photo, I burst into tears." And then their true emotion will come out and their wall will come down and they'll say, "Oh, you broke my heart." But you'd never guess it from the outside looking in, because we're all walking around with these big smiles on our faces saying that we're fine, when that's really not the case. So that's why I would implore you to develop more of an empathetic view towards your romantic partner and just look closer at what's going on. And number two, along those same lines, the other side is asking you to assume good intentions. Your romantic partner is not running around with a pitchfork trying to figure out how to stab your heart with it. Try to assume that your lovely partner wants you to be happy. They want you to feel secure within the relationship. Unfortunately, our imaginations tend to run wild, where we're automatically picture a romantic partner, running into the sunset with their coworker because they love them so much more than us, and they're going to get married and they're going to have kids, and we just imagine the worst. So the other side is asking you to exercise mental self-discipline out of self-love, just out of self-love for yourself and wanting to be emotionally comfortable and trying to keep that overactive imagination in check, because you will imagine the worst and you will make yourself feel bad when it could not truly reflect what's actually going on. So be kind to yourself, just purely out of self-love. And also, number three, acknowledge that a little bit of jealousy is good. It means you care. Your romantic partner is special to you. You value them. You place a value on them. So a little bit of jealousy shows you care, and that's okay. Don't judge yourself for that. Don't feel ashamed of feeling the way you do. Give yourself a break and don't feel bad about experiencing jealousy. It's only a natural emotion. It's gonna happen. We don't live in a vacuum. There are times when you're gonna feel uncomfortable. So give yourself a break, and also acknowledge that if your romantic partner expresses jealousy, that's normal and healthy too. And so try to be there for them and soothe, that insecurity. And then number four, they're saying to be clear. Have clear communication. And this is an interesting request because it requires you to swallow your pride and your ego. Ego doesn't exist on the other side. Ego separates. That's why on the other side, we're just one big collective consciousness, because ego doesn't exist. So don't be afraid to ask your romantic partner for what you need, and just, approach them and say, "Honey, do you love me? Okay, why do you love me?" Like, maybe you need that reassurance, and that's okay, because you're opening your heart, you're making yourself vulnerable to them. So the partner that's good for you and loves you and appreciates you will step up to the plate and give you what you need, because they want to. Needs just are. They're an absolute. They're non-negotiable. You just need it. You need to feel valued, and you need to feel that security within that romantic relationship. So hopefully this type of conversation will bring you closer to your partner, and your relationship will grow stronger because of it. maybe you need clarification with regards to a confusing, situation or circumstance. That's okay. It's okay to ask for that. And you are making yourself vulnerable in the process. And yes, it can be kind of embarrassing sometimes to put yourself out there. And hopefully your romantic partner will recognize, how vulnerable you are making yourself, and they will appreciate your candor and step up to the plate to give you what you need. Now, when jealousy goes awry, that's when the other side becomes concerned about emotional manipulation and control. And this is where they want you to beware of jealousy gone awry. Jealousy is not something that you use to control your partner, because when things go too far, it's kind of like we do it on purpose. We jab our partner and we say things like, I think so-and-so likes me. Pause for reaction, right? Why do we do that? Because it feeds our ego. It reassures us. And it reassures us in an egotistical way. Are you making yourself vulnerable by saying something like that and jabbing your partner and trying to elicit a jealous response? No. You're not making yourself vulnerable. You're protecting yourself and keeping that wall up. And you're trying to elicit a response from them that feeds your ego. Is that fair to your partner to make them feel crappy? No. It's not clear communication. It's not honest, authentic, and open communication. You're not playing fair. And also, your romantic partner can see right through you. So just make sure that there's no puppet strings going on here. We're all good people just trying to do our best. So make sure that you're not being controlled by puppet strings, because that's when jealousy goes awry. And another way when jealousy goes awry is possessiveness. When your romantic partner feels like they can't do anything. They can't have any friends. They can't talk to anybody. You're possessing them with your jealousy. You own them. We don't live in a vacuum. You don't own your partner, and your partner doesn't own you. They're allowed to have friends. You're allowed to have friends. So just try to keep your jealousy in check and get in touch with yourself, and realize what those emotions are coming from. What do you need? What are you not giving yourself? Sometimes, it really has to do more with you than the relationship, where it's like, what are you not giving yourself? Is your imagination running wild again? What's at the core of what's going on? That's where I encourage you to meditate and really kind of get in touch with yourself at that point, and kind of try to analyze, what your own truth is that's causing this type of jealous reaction, because this is when jealousy goes awry. Now, along those same lines, trust is a big deal here, obviously, in the relationship. You have to logically deduce whether or not you trust your romantic partner or not. It becomes black and white. This is a really good way to manage your jealousy, where you're like, look, I need to just wake up one morning and make a decision to either trust my partner or not. Has my partner ever given me a reason not to trust them? Right? Look at the past history. Have they earned your trust? Have they done anything to lose your trust? So look at the facts and try to be fair. And another thing that things get a little sticky with in the trust department, this is where things get a little gray. They're not so black and white, is when you talk about lovely alcohol. And I'm drawing a little picture of Dos Equis here and somebody who's drunk. So, what happens when somebody is so drunk that they can't even remember their name? Do they have any sort of mental capacity left at that point? No. Would I trust my romantic partner if they were completely drunk as a skunk? to where they don't really remember what happened the night before? Nope. Why should I trust you? You have zero mental capacity left. I'm not going to trust you. That's the old gray area of jealousy. Do I have to worry about you? Do you have my trust when you're completely incapacitated? No. So, the other side is asking you to do this. Establish boundaries. What's okay and what's not okay within the relationship so that you guys are on the same page. But they're saying that it's perfectly okay to say, honey, have fun with your friends, get drunk, have a good time. Just make sure you remember what your name is. Just make sure you remember where you live so you can somehow find your way home. That's a fair request, right? So just make sure, again, you have that clear communication and that agreed upon behavior. What's okay, what's not okay with your partner. And then another thing is that they're showing me that's really important is just kind of an overall self-awareness in managing jealousy. Just make sure you are exercising your lovely emotional intelligence with regards to the, self-reflective consciousness, and making sure that you are looking at the core of what's making you feel uncomfortable. Again, just dig deep within your soul so that you can accurately relay those messages to your romantic partner so that they can step up to the plate and help you. Your jealousy might not go away. Emotions just are. They're an absolute, and they deserve to be honored and addressed. So hopefully, hopefully your partner will step up to the plate and, again, give you what you need in a loving manner. As long as you do have that clear communication with them and you're making yourself vulnerable to them, hopefully, again, they'll appreciate it. But again, I don't want you to be afraid to ask for that. I want you to feel comfortable enough to ask for that from your romantic partner. And along those same lines, right? Don't forget the power of the big guy upstairs. Last but not least, it's okay to pray. God is all-knowing, and his powers are limitless. He can do whatever, he wants. So don't be afraid to ask God for what you need. Again, if you find yourself in a sticky situation where it's just really uncomfortable, it's causing a lot of problems for you that you just wish weren't there. Oftentimes we really do wish we weren't jealous. We experience feelings of jealousy in our belly, and 9 times out of 10 we're like, God, I really, really wish I didn't feel like this, but I just do, and it sucks, and it's embarrassing, and it makes me feel, 10 different things. And that's okay. But you still need to honor those feelings as part of self-respect and part of self-love. So be true to yourself and love yourself enough to know that that deserves to come out and it deserves to be expressed instead of just swept under the carpet and dismissed. Because again, emotions are very real and they are an absolute. So don't be afraid to pray. Ask for that help with that certain situation if it's making you feel emotionally uncomfortable. Because you and your romantic partner deserve to be happy and fluffy and secure within the relationship. And in the meantime, take care and be well. Thank you.